As you all know by now, Nemesis is one of the main protagonists and she will be global first banner. So this video is to help you understand her from the China server or the Chinese version to make reference or compare when there is nerf or balance, but I'm pretty sure her kit won't change that much. There is a leak on Reddit about Nemesis 3-star rarity was adjusted on the AIDA Pioneer program, and this screenshot was from a Brazilian streamer's stream. Whether it considered a balance or nerf, we'll talk about it later, and let's keep that in mind that it's not the global official release yet, but a high chance of it being there. Considering changes in global server, my information will not be relevant, but I'm pretty sure her kit will not change that much, so we will talk about it anyways. Nemesis' weapon is called the Morning Star in Chinese, which is the Qi Ming Xing. It is a ranged type weapon with 2 plasma blaster floating on site. It falls under the element Volt and the resonance benediction, aka healer. 4 copy of her skin turns her white hair, but I can't showcase you her weapon of 3 stars, so if I can find an image I'll put it right here. If I can, let's move on. Her shield break is graded B, her charge for her discharge is A, so she is still a decent charger, but again keep in mind that she is a healer, so all these are low is actually still okay. She does not have any iframe. I have tested out. She has a passive buff known as the Volt Resonance, which if you equip 2 Volt weapon, it will give you 20% Volt damage increment and 40% resistance to Volt damage. Now if you plan to main Volt, Nemesis is definitely a must-have character that you'll need. Her movesets are 5 basic attack, 5 aerial attack, 2 basic attack followed by charge attack, and dashing will provide 2 buff. Now dashing is a little bit complicated, so allow me to explain. So there will be given 2 buff every time you dash. So buff 1 provides auto heal, which produces a healing radius for 10 seconds, healing nearby ally of yours by 22.6% of your Volt attack. The radius will not disappear upon changing weapon, but do require to swap back to trigger healing radius again. Buff 2 increase the healing up to 25%, but it can be stacked up to 5 times if you manage to dodge 5 times, and lasts for 30 seconds. So if you dodge 5 times, healing is increased by 125%. with buff 1 and another 22.6% with buff 2. Keep in mind, every time you dash, it will reset the duration and it comes along with the stack effect. Now she is quite unique. Her front dash fires a beacon, however she has a backward dash attack which produces a slow sphere upon hitting your enemy for about I think 3 seconds. Here you go. Now her skill, which is her primary skill, she fires a missile attack that deals 233.2% of Volt damage with a chance of knockdown and has a cooldown of 25 seconds. Her discharge skill, however, removes all buff, produce an AoE on the ground and dealing 393.9% Volt damage with an additional 21 damage, and also it releases an electrolyte, which is a pillar right there, that attacks every 1.5 seconds with a damage of 40% Volt attack. They mentioned the electrolyte inherits 100% of player's stat, which I don't know what it means, but I think it means by Volt damage, or is it by HP, so I don't really know. The electrode can be attacked and also can be healed, and you can only have 1 electrode. If you summon a new one, the old one will disappear. Unless you manage the 6-star Nemesis weapon, you can produce at least up to 2 electrodes. If you try to produce a 3rd one, the furthest one from you will disappear first. Now let's talk about the rarity here. 1 star will allow you to produce 1 electrode and stack healing buff immediately to 5 times instead of doing dash. So if you find the hassle not to dash, so in PvP you won't affect. So long as you use your skill and it produces an electrode, it will stack up your healing by 125% with a 30 seconds cooldown. 2-star not much, increased attack by 16%. 3-star is actually quite interesting, and this is what nerfs on the Reddit page, but 3-star is actually quite interesting. Electrode release current every 6 seconds, which deals up to 389% Volt damage for enemy that is within range, but this has been nerfed to I think 200% on the Reddit page. So in my opinion, I think this deserves to be nerfed, but I don't think people will 3-star her anymore. Hear me out, she's supposed to be a healer, and this is more useful in PvE. As PvP, it is useful if the circle gets smaller and you manage to stun people and then you use 1 relic to stun people again. It is quite useful. It can go up to 6 seconds and people can lose 30 to 40% health. So I think this deserves a nerf, and this is actually, in my opinion, a balance to the global. So I hope they keep it that way, not because I don't main Volt, it's because I understand that it's too powerful and I've been taken out by people many times. So 4 star, nothing much, it increased attack by 32%. After using skill at 5 stars, after using skills, increased by 10 your electrolyte count. I'm not sure about this count. Is it talking about the healing count or what? Because this is also from the Ida Cafe, so maybe it will increase your buff count stack up to 10 for 25 seconds. I don't know. If that's true, then maybe it will improve your healing. And 6 star is actually quite interesting. Can produce up to 2 electrodes. If you try to create a third one, the furthest one will disappear, because we talked about this before. With the 3 star producing, if it's never nerfed, producing up to 400% damage, then having 2 electrode could immediately murder someone if they get stunned inside. So I think this deserves a nerf. And all of this, not just that 3 star, all of this could change. We don't know yet, but I think it deserves a nerf. So Nemesis Simulacrum, which is her bond system, when level 1, when she produces an electrode, all enemies within 30 meters will take 60% more of your volt damage, and allies receive 120% of their attack. So allies will receive 120% healing of their attack. They mentioned attack, so I'm not sure if it has to come down to your teammates' volt attack or other elements. So I'm not really sure about this. As for level 2, the electrolyte damage will further increase from 60 to 100%, and the healing that your teammates will get will increase to 200%. That's insane. So if you want a main healer, you definitely need Nemesis Simulacrum, and also she is a great healer. So for matrices, I'm not gonna talk so much. If you want to main her, get at least 2 Nemesis if you want, or the F2P way of getting is basically 2 double Coco. If you want DPS for Volt team, right, you can go for Nemesis. But if you want Coco, if you want the F2P way, long-term wise, if you're saving, then perhaps Coco times 4 for DPS buff for the teammates. So the recommended team I recommend for Nemesis is basically PvP. Alright, we're talking about PvP. The SR Spear, which is a free spear, the character. This spear is actually, the ultimate is actually short hit, so I still get killed by it. Despite holding all SSR and my opponent using an SR spear, I still get killed by it. Ling, definitely in the future, you definitely need Ling. Bai and Samir early game, or even Mark for AoE damage, but we don't know if Bai and Mark is coming, so we don't know, alright? So the relic I recommend for PvP is definitely Confinement and the Cybernetic Grappling Arm. As for PvE, the thing is, I actually recommend the same thing. Bai, Ling, Samir, Mark for AoE and Paralyze. So for PvP, I much recommend the SR Spear and Bai, and then Ling, and not much of a Samir or Mark. So regarding the global nerf, like I said, she needs to be nerfed. I mean, she is a healer, and with double electrode in PvP, that could easily murder people. I mean, 6 second, double 6 second, people could die immediately. So I think that deserves a nerf. I got killed by a lot of those electrodes. So again, guys, this is what I think about Nemesis, and there will be changes in global, and we will see. I think this is a good nerf. It's not a it's a balance. It's not a nerf in my opinion, but I know a lot of people, because I make one videos about Nemesis when she was confirmed for being global first banner, and someone said, no, she's not DPS, why would I pull for her? Why do people get so obsessed with just DPS, right? So this is my opinion. It's not what is seen as a leak, is not the final result, but in my opinion, what I think is more of a balance rather than a nerf. Thank you all so much for watching again. Zackie-Senpai here, and hey, it's just a gaming channel.